Hello all, and welcome back to FRS Community Channel. We are just about getting ready to get underway with our last racing of this lovely Saturday, which is going to be PC Division 4. I am Cumulus. I just got done out of this channel here. Oh, I should probably turn off this iPad so that you can't hear that, because you might hear me talking in double. But I just got done on this very channel racing in the Xbox division here and jumping right back into commentary. So hopefully everything should be good to go. Here is your standings, actually just coming up on screen now for PC Division 4. It's going to be up there real quick. Stolen Valor took the race win in PC4 last weekend in a very interesting strategy. And side note to myself for next week's graphics is to make those standings stay up on the page longer. I am running through them quickly. It's the first time we've run these graphics on these streams, so I'm going to make sure that they go a little longer next week since I make all of them. Or I insert them. The lovely Herring Zord, who was broadcasting PC Division 1 earlier today and usually broadcast PC Division 2 tomorrow on FRS Motorsports, has made a lot of these animated graphics, so I'll keep a note, make sure to change those up, and have them last a little bit longer on screen. But yeah, Stolen Valor last weekend out in the unexpected long run that he did on those hard compound tires lasted a very long time. We thought for sure that Squids was going to come back at him over the course of the race and chase him down on the softer compounded tire, but it ended up not being the case. Now, Spa-Francorchamps, longest track on the calendar this season. Plenty of long, high speeds. Now, I can say from personal experience, the 0-0 wing strat is a thing. You do have to kind of hold on and hang on to the car through the middle sector. But those long straights that you get on the back straight and, of course, up the Kemmel straight, that extra straight line speed is absolutely massive. So we'll see. We'll try and keep an eye out in qualifying who is running quickly down that Kemmel straight to see if we can suss out who has got that low wing strategy going. Just about getting the last few people on board. I'm going to close down a few of these other windows, try and take some load off of my PC. Close all that down. And what we are doing, attempting to do in a lot of cases, at least the ones that I'm streaming, and AW Turbo Guy, who covers Xbox and PlayStation, since we broadcast through OBS, we are recording at the same time, recording on the source side, so when it gets uploaded to the FRS YouTube channel, it has a much higher quality available to it on the export. So, of course, we will chop up certain bits. We typically leave in, last week we had some red flags, so we will typically leave those sections in, but I'll put a prompt up on the screen if there's a red flag, where to jump to get back to the action, but I like to leave in the commentators' little impromptu podcasts in the middle. But looks like everybody is just about ready to get going. The lobby countdown is starting, and we will get underway here for round 2 of Season 6 of the FRS PC Division 4 in just one moment. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the FRS Season 6. We're here in Spa-Francorchamps for PC Division 4, Round 2 of this 10-race calendar. Coming thick and fast, back-to-back weeks straight in, and this track, the Belgian Grand Prix, featured in all 6 FRS seasons so far, so definitely a stalwart of the calendar. Here is the circuit, 7.004 kilometers, 19 turns, the longest of the season, 2 DRS zones, short one down the pit straight, and of course the long uphill climb that is the Kemmel Straight, probably your best overtaking opportunity. Now, with those low wings, you will see drivers reaching their highest top speeds of the season, over 210 miles an hour once you hit the back of the Kemmel Straight. But now we'll take a look at the action zones, of course, into turn one, this short run into turn one. La Sauce, the hot, tight hairpin that sets up that big, long run. You're flat out all the way up until you get to here, Les Combes, the first big chicane, the end of the long DRS straight. It's going to be your second best overtaking opportunity. There are some opportunities to go into the bus stop chicane, but it's not ideal. Here's the tires we see, very high deg circuit, similar lap time delta as last week, 7/10 slower on the mediums, 1.4 slower on the hards, but the life you see, soft tires only good for about 6 laps, mediums good for 11, the hards 15 if you are stretching them. Stolen Valor in the lead of the championship provisionally. Of course, these graphics were made before some of the final stewarding inquiries were in, so there may be some slight shakeups, but we'll keep those coming as we go. Squids P2 picked up that fastest lap point, and Nadawiabu rounded out the top 3. So plenty of points on offer, only after the first round. And we'll take a look and see, as it does in fact appear that we've got some rain in the air. Here we are in qualifying, drivers on their outlaps just about now, and that is going to be them on intermediate tires. It looks like everybody has opted for the intermediate tire this time around. So just looks like we got, try and find who is furthest up the road. It looks like, according to the track map, boom, Project Stealth in the Alpine is furthest around, getting ready to start their first flying lap. Oh, this is a practice session. Good call, Nordy. That's what the P means. I always forget that you guys are about the only division that runs a practice. So, practice is in the wet. What does that mean for the rest of the race now that I think about it? Good call, Nordy. Rip to me. Yep, totally missed it. But, so we'll just hang out for a little bit because everybody gets their one out lap, has to come back into the pits just to make sure that setups are loaded correctly. And that might indicate why we didn't have the weather up just yet. It looks like Project Stealth actually out on a lap. Should be supposed to be coming in for it. So we'll keep an eye out and just hang out and wait for them to get in. It looks like Delta the Hunter is having a little bit of connection issues, has rejoined though, and oh yeah, Project Stealth, forgotten to drive into the pit lane, is going to go ahead and just park it up and have his car removed from the track. Now, usually retiring from an active racetrack, there's a big no-no in the FRS. You're not supposed to do it. However, this is a practice session. There is no timings associated with it. You're not supposed to be on any hot laps, and it can't call any safety cars or anything. So, Project Stealth is retired. Space Ghost, Nadawiabu, Renovatio, who Nordy in the chat is saying, helping Reno to not overtake the safety car, which was unfortunate last time out. Renovatio put it on pole position, was running in first place at the first safety car, and then drove right past it, which was unfortunate. Out of the lead of the race, just went sailing past as the safety car waited to pick him up, was unable to get back behind the safety car in time, and just a DSQ there from a driver that looks to be in the championship fight. So hopefully we can get the mental mistakes kind of ironed out here as the rest of the drivers are just kind of getting retired here. And, still plenty of time left to go in this championship. Stolen Valor is on the grid here in that Ferrari, as is Oba Mendes. So the Ferrari's ones to look out for early. Squids showed very good pace around the track in Spain, but it just came down to the strategy was the difference. Squids had plenty of pace, but Stolen Valor put on a set of hard tires at the very first safety car and rode them all the way to the end of the race. Nearly outshot our initial expectations on how far you could expect a set of hard tires to go. Now, much higher degradation track we've got going on here, so I'm going to have to be careful with how hard you push the tires. And we'll obviously have to see what kind of weather situations we have coming up to us. The race director, classified P1, Bobby Digital with no time. Space Ghost, P2 with no time. Nadawiabu, Williams, no time. No time, no time, no time. There's no times. Bobby D at the top of the timing sheets, though. That is very much let's call that a Nicholas Latifi FP3 in Hungary. Tops the timing sheets. Let's go, Bobby D. Another rookie to the FRS, so we will see how they get on here. There's quite a few rookies to the FRS in PC Division 4. Bobby Digital, Cypher, Delta, Chronicle, are all rookies here. Who is 15th? We're going to give them a little show. Business Monkey, also a rookie. So that's 5 rookies on the grid. So pretty good slate of rookies getting up to speed to see how the FRS operates. So time to take a short breath because I get to talk all by myself the entire time after racing an entire race, and it is very hot and very sweaty here. And the rain is pouring down. It looks much harder than you had in that practice session. We will see as drivers get coming out of the pit lanes what tires. Right now, the game is automatically setting people onto the full wet tire. Now, in Xbox, we had the session start in intermediate conditions, and then with about 6 minutes left to go in the session, switch to dry in qualifying. So we will see if there's any chance that weather will ease up. It appears that the weather overlay graphic that I have is not currently operating. Can I get it to bring up? It says activated, but apparently SimHub not pulling any data from that one. So no worries. We will just have to hope for probably Nordy to weigh in on the chat to let us know, since he is race engineering for Renovatio, I believe, this time around. So, first drivers out on the track. Bobby Digital, P1 in the practice session. P1 out on track. First man, never mind, scratch that. There is a couple cars further up. Business Monkey, and it looks like not a Weeaboo, but he's currently still P1 on the tables. So we'll see, let's find, I believe that is Business Monkey that is, in fact, the furthest around. About to come through Rivage now. Very tricky corner, even in dry conditions. Understeer central, and I'll bet in the wet it is even tougher. Blob is another rookie to the FRS. It looks like he might be able to just get into a car in the start of this qualifying session. It might be too late, though, but if he's joined now, he should have enough time to at least get a slot on the grid, start at the back, which, considering the very short run into turn 1 and just how messy it can get, starting at the back is not the worst fate. Now, you do lose out the opportunity to probably take a couple of positions or run away from the pack in the front, but you can sit back, let the shambles develop directly in front of you, and then relax and start working your way up through the grid. A couple of yellow flags. It looks like one of the cars has already lost it out of... I forgot the name of that corner. Where is my cell phone? Because I need to do this track justice. This historic track, Spa-Francorchamps. I remember a couple of the corner names. La Source, Rouge, Radion, Lacombe, No Name, Pouan, Rivage, Campus, Stavilo, Paul Frere. Actually, now that I think about it, that's the only corner on the track that I can't remember the name of at the moment. Because you've also got Blanchimont, which normally on that back straight flat out. So here we are with Business Monkey starting that first flying lap of the session. And for some reason, it would appear that my overlays have not been activated. I'll try and adjust that and fix that in between the two sessions as he carries on up the hill, but we will use the in-game telemetry screen for this one. We'll jump on board to see how he gets on flat out down the Kemmel Straight, already ticking up to over 200 miles an hour in full wet conditions. On the brakes, ease it in, not locking it up. A little bit slower than you might expect. You could probably carry third gear through the first part of Lacombe, but driver's likely fueled up, and you can see just how much understeer there is as you come through that corner I don't remember the name of. So I'm going to look it up. And it's going to be one that I'm going to see it and go, ah, that's the name. Now I remember, because I've known this name in the past. But this one I definitely do know. Downhill into Pouan. Really tricky corner. Easy to run wide on the exit there with this double left-hander. It is Bruxelles. Okay. Because there's another name for Rivage, which is something. Thank you, Golly. There's another name for... no, Rivage should be Bruxelles. That is Malmedy. Malmedy's the corner name I'm looking for. Now I remember. Bruxelles is the other name for Rivage. But, of course, leading the pack around. Purple sectors all around the track so far. And now how do they handle Blanchimont? A little dab of the brakes, a downshift to get the car turned in. Definitely some time to be found on this lap. But a safe, valid lap is going to be the key. So flick it into the final chicane there. Let the car settle and then ease onto the throttle. You can see just how gentle they're being now. Full power down. They've got some TC assistance there. And fastest lap, 2:06.87 to start it. Next up, across the line should be Nato Uyabu. Crossing line goes 2:06.600. Bobby Digital coming into the final chicane now. Just going to try and flip their way through there. Get the power down. Across the line they come. Goes to the top of the timing sheets at 106.162. Next up should be Space Ghost in the McLaren. 104, a couple seconds faster. Another car right behind him. Looks to have not set a valid lap time. The Ferrari of Stolen Digital goes into the mid 206s as well, as looks like a Red Bull having a bit of a nightmare trying to get the car around. That is not who I wanted. I was looking for one of the two Mercedes. Renovatio further down the list. And we will see how they can handle their way through the final couple of corners. Riemann has messaged me, probably to tell me I am being dumb and not reactivating things just about right. Renovatio goes across the line, and just like pole position last week, goes to the top of the timing towers. So who is going to be next across? One of the Ferraris crossing the line. Oba Mendez and Stash is actually both. Oh, there's a car right there in the middle of the track. That really caught me off guard there, as I just happened to look back up at the screen. And we will find who is next on this lovely little trek around. Cypher, I believe, coming through the backside. No, he's got his that's his rain light. I was going to say his ERS light is blinking and he is recharging the battery. However, it is raining, so he has the rain lights up. So the graphics that we are trying to work on, we had it for the race in PC Div R yesterday, and they are appearing on my third monitor where I have them just running to make sure they are running. The speedometer and the gap and weather displays, they appear to be active, but for whatever reason, when I activate them in the OBS overlay, they are not quite coming up. So that may be operator error. I am not above making that sort of a mistake at all. But we are still kind of testing and figuring them out and making sure they are working. Mostly working. But up the hill goes Cypher. They've set a 2:06.1. They look to be potentially on another flying lap. We'll see what kind of lap times they've put when they cross the first sector split. That'll give us a good indication on whether they're on a hot lap or not. They are much faster, almost 2 full seconds quicker. They're going to be dipping and nipping. Easy. Be careful what you say there. They are nipping down into the 2:04s at the pace they are on. So we'll keep an eye on their lap times as they come through Rivage and then through Speaker's Corner or No Name or any other number of names. Down into Puan. Fast left-hander. See if they can keep it on the track. So easy to invalidate there, especially actually in dry conditions because you tend to be more dangerous. Space Ghost goes to the top of the timing towers down into the 2:01. So we're just about nipping into the 159s in just a little bit. So we'll see Cypher on the second sector split, 2 seconds up on their best time. A nice 2 seconds flat, so that will put them around the margin between P5 and P6, Nato Uyabu and Stolen Valor. There's going to be, looks like there is a Haas that is coming through the final corner on the track map. We will keep an eye on the timing towers to see if there, it should be Bobby Digital crossing the line. Keep an eye on P9 there. They do improve up to P6, so 2:03.6. Then a improvement, it looks like, or no improvement from Space Ghost. Squids is in the pit lane and retired. Him and Chronicle both out as Cypher goes up to 2:04.343 up into P7 overall. And, well, 8 minutes left to go in this session. There is a parked Red Bull. Oh, it is supposed to be in the pit lane. Yet it is appearing on track. We may have an issue there. There's a possibility of an issue. But we'll keep an eye out, see if when Delta comes out of the pit lanes. I know Delta's been having trouble with connection to the lobby. I've seen them in and out, in and out. So we will see if that is something that fixes. Renovatio goes to the top of the timing sheets on a 201.4. Let's find somebody on a hot lap. Space Ghost, you on a hot lap? No, you're invalid. There is a parked Mercedes out of the last area. Big damage there. Squids has left the session now. And we will see if they are having connection issues, and that may be why they have not set a lap time just yet. But no lap time is going to be coming from there. We will keep an eye out as both Haas cars are on track. Bobby Digital slow in front of his teammate. That may be costing his own teammate time. No, his teammate's on the out lap, so he's okay. No big deal there. So he's got to try and let his teammate through so they can get onto a flying lap. We will see Cypher still on a lap, although it was a slow lap last time we checked in. Renovatio should be on an in lap. Space Ghost is on an out lap at the moment, or on a flyer, but they were invalid last time we checked up on them. There is an Alfa Romeo, which I believe is Stashes on the track map, which is on their out lap. So we'll just keep an eye on Business Monkey, as they should be about the first one of this next group to this next group. So let's go ahead and let them start the lap. Jump on board, see how they go. Finding about their brake marker around the 100-meter turn in, a little wide of the apex. They're tough to get the car rotated for this one. So now down the hill they go. Throttle is up. Got to correct and make their way in. Now through that ghosted car. Now it may be that just us is seeing it. Oh, he snaps over the top of Eau Rouge, and that is going to be an invalid lap from them. So we will find the next driver that is about to set a lap. It should be not Renovatio, because they are coming into the pit lane. We'll grab Stashes, who is coming up to the bus stop, although missing a front wing. So even though they're on the out lap, yep, they are going to dive directly into the pit lane. Not Oba Mendez. Well, maybe Oba Mendez. We'll keep an eye out as they're about to hit the first sector split. Crosses a couple of tenths down on their previous best lap. So we'll see if they can make up that time in the middle sector. It is a tricky sector, but definitely an area where you can gain lots of time just by getting the lines right, especially your run through Lake Como. It's worth 2, 3, 4 tenths if you can get it right compared to one that's just a little bit wrong-footed that feels like a decent run through. Through Puan there, and it keeps it nicely inbounds, headed up to this next chicane. Flicks it in a little wide of the curbing apex there, although definitely one that can catch you out. A little bit of catch of oversteer as they're snapping. We'll see how they are doing, if they've run a better middle sector than last time, or if they are still trying to find an absolutely huge improvement through the middle sector, which is 1.3 seconds up. Word from Nordy is that we are might be getting a light rain throughout the race on this one. Now up into the bus stop chicane, find your brake marker, turn in, take as much of the curb as you dare, flick it. No, they've abandoned. Even after improving by nearly 2 seconds on that lap, they have abandoned that lap. So it looks like Business Monkey is on a flying lap now. So we'll jump on with them as they are the first to start flying. And then, oh, they're going to cut over Eau Rouge. Oh, they have lifted out enough to keep the lap time valid, though. So they are going to continue on regardless. Four tenths of improvement, almost a half-second improvement, showing as a purple first sector. We might be getting a little bit of lift in the rain. It might be coming up a little bit lighter. So there's a big slide there, nearly trying to catch the back end of the car and keep it in bounds, but looks to have managed it just about right. Now, through Rivage, down into No Name, still quite a ways to go. Longest sector on the track. First two sectors come in around 25 to 28 seconds. This one over 45 seconds in dry conditions. And with lap times in the 2-minute range, you're spending nigh on 50, almost 60 seconds in that middle sector, because the first two sectors mostly full throttle. Yellow flags ahead in Stavilo. It looks like, though, that AlphaTauri has gotten themselves moving once again. We'll check up as Business Monkey about to hit the next sector split. We'll see what kind of lap time they're... Oh, very wide there. They're into the gravel. That is going to cost them all of their time. And, yeah, they've just kind of had to abandon the lap. So we'll jump on with Space Ghost, who is on their way now down into the Lacombe chicane. 4/10 up on the previous best lap. That will put them on the mark to try and get the provisional pole position. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Some drivers just about coming out of the pit lanes now. The last opportunity really for drivers to come out and try and set a lap time before the end of this one. But we'll keep an eye on the battle for pole position right now. It is Space Ghost in P1. Further down, it looks like Stashes is about to start a flying lap. Oba Mendez might actually be just ahead of Space Ghost here. He's going to have to try and move out of the way in a very tricky section of the track. Space Ghost just about managing it through P1, catching this Ferrari. Is that Stolen Valor or is that Oba Mendez? They're going to have to get out of the way unless because they're both on outlaps. So neither of the Ferraris are on flying laps. They need to yield the position and not be impeding Space Ghost. And it looks like that dirty air is a big issue for Space Ghost. He's all over the gearbox. 1.3 seconds of improvement. He's got plenty of time. And finally, Space Ghost just kind of has to elbow them out of the way. That will certainly be a penalty for that Ferrari. And we'll have to keep an eye out as we'll be able to tell which one it is if Space Ghost opts to submit the report. But a big improvement through the second sector. Probably lost some time on the exit of Paul Frere there and is on the intermediate tire. So that's really where they're finding the time. So yeah, definitely improving weather conditions, starting to work their way down. Crosses the line, goes the first into the 159s. We will see it was Stolen Valor in P8 who was in the way there. So we'll jump on with them and see, although scratch that, further around the track. Never mind. Stashes was further around the track, however, invalid. So we'll jump back to Stolen Valor, who's going to be the next one challenging for pole position on this one. And up the hill we go. He's on those intermediate tires. We'll keep an eye and see, actually, most everybody switched over to intermediate tires except for Blob. The only car on track on the full wets, trying to set their first lap time. Stolen Valor, 4/10 of an improvement. That will put them right in the margin of about Nadawiabu's kind of range if they can continue to improve at a similar clip. However, we did see Space Ghost gain over a second in that middle sector, and we will just have to wait and see. And now this time, Stolen Valor is going to start coming up to the back end of Space Ghost, who I would expect would jump out of the way. We'll keep an eye as they come around. The lap time still valid. There's yellow flags in the bus stop chicanes, but should be easily cleared by the time the drivers get there. Now through the double left-hander, keeps it in bounds. It doesn't look to be a super aggressive line. We'll hop on board for the last little bit as they pitch it into the chicane. Gets the car's nose into the corner, through into the left-hander, easing on the throttle. The checkered flag is now out. Now that we have Cypher, Business Monkey, Zhao, and Delta the Hunter all locked in. Renovatio goes P1, top of the timing tables. Project Stealth improves up to third at the 2-minute mark as well. Blob sets a 2:59 and crosses the checkered flag, so no improvements for them there. Stolen Valor, the next one, going to have a chance to challenge for some higher positions. Little lift through Blanchimont there, and now down into the bus stop chicane. Space Ghost well clear, should be pulling into the pit lane about now. Or rather, he stayed on the track. Has improved. Space Ghost actually going for the double flyer. Improves to 58.6. Stolen Valor just outside the 2-minute mark. Goes up into fourth and will now grab Oba Mendez, who is 3.8 seconds up on their best time. That'll put them down in the 59 range. 159 range if they can keep it nice and tidy through the last couple corners. Looks to be a good line. Getting the power down. Can they improve? 57.852 goes provisionally onto the top of the timing sheets. Oba Mendez, though, usurps that immediately. No, that is not Oba Mendez. They've already crossed. We're waiting for Peter Ward to cross, who does improve up to P5. Project Stealth coming around the corner has already finished their lap time. We'll find Stashes is on a valid flying lap through the middle sector. 3 seconds of improvement that will put them up into good position. Bobby D goes up into P4 and just outside that 2-minute margin. 2 minutes 0.177 Stashes, though a little bit of work left to do in this one. Now down, last car to set a flying lap as the conditions steadily improved through the final chicane. cranks on the lock, tries to get the car facing the right direction on the curbing, which is a little slippy usually, gets the throttle down and goes into the 57s, not quite sure exactly where that shook out. Does in fact take over pole position. So good run from Stashes there at the death of it to take pole position away. So your timing sheet. Stashes on pole position, shares the front row with Oba Mendez. Space Ghost and Renovatio make up the second row. Bobby Digital up into 5th alongside Project Stealth. Peter Ward in 7th, Stolen Valor in 8th, Nada Weeaboo 9th, and Cypher is 10th. Business Monkey, Zhao, Blob, Delta the Hunter, Squids, and Chronicle are next. I'm going to try and fix some of these graphics really, really fast while we wait for the strategies to get set. Okay. Still waiting, just a second there. A very close run there. All right, as we are getting loaded up now, I'm just making some adjustments. Okay, and speedometer. Just refreshing the OBS links to see how it does. And we'll find out if that indeed fixed it. So, it did not. Okay. So while drivers are getting their stuff set up, I'm going to fiddle. The timer has started. We'll see if we can get SimHub up in time. But it doesn't appear that it is behaving. Okay, game should be configured. All right. Well, jumping out as they get ready for the broadcast formation lap, which I think Crofty is going to start babbling. Nope, we are lights out and away. We have gone no formation lap. That's right. I was thinking of it. So Stashes down into turn 1, makes the corner. Whoa, very deep on this cold tire. Oh, big pile up in the back there. Tons of cars off, tons of penalties already. Stashes getting away free and clear at this point in the lead. Oba Mendez is second. Space Ghost third. Bobby Digital 4th. Now up into 5th. Squids is Renovatio in 6th. Business Monkey 7th. We're going to keep an eye out and try and grab this melee of cars there. So very tight run down into turn 1. So we'll see who can find the bit of track that they need in order to send it down the inside. It looks like way deep on the brakes has gone Stolen Valor. They're off the track. They're going to have to find a way to rejoin safely without impeding anybody else. Nada Weeaboo, Peter Ward all tangling up. There is a mess of cars going on all over the places. There's wheel banging between Cypher and Project Stealth. Cypher is out of the session, so that is one retirement now. That was Cypher and Blob, rather, as Project Stealth was further back. There's a virtual safety car called Virtual Safety Car is out in this one. Right at the time Charlie Chibbles arrives in the chat, Shambles. Not saying that they're related, but very well could have been. But Squids, the big winner in this one, making their way through the melee of turn 1, up 10 positions. Although we will see if they've picked up any damage. They are indeed damaged. No front wing on that car there, so they are going to have to take a pit stop. Probably would have preferred there to be a full safety car as opposed to just this virtual safety car. So Stashes leads from Oba Mendez, Space Ghost, Bobby Digital, Squids, Renovatio, and you've got Business Monkey, Delta the Hunter, Stolen Valor, and Nada Weeaboo rounding out the top 10. Chronicle is in 11th. Peter Ward in 12th. Zhao is in 13th as they go green flag racing again. And oh, what a run that Delta has gotten. And oh, contact Renovatio to the back of Squids, not ready for that damaged front wing as they're just trying to work their way around. Delta now up 10 positions in this one, so a few cars coming into the pit lane. We'll take a look at the Oba Mendez is around trying to make a move on Stashes, it looks like, into turn 1. Renovatio has been DSQ'd for blocking the pit lane. So an absolute mess going on for this team. And what a tough start for Renovatio, who was nearly pole position, leading the race last weekend, DSQ'd, and once again another DSQ, this time for not taking care into the pit lane. So turned into a DNF, but Squids right down towards the back now. He's Bobby Digital, Blob, and Squids, Project Stealth all making pit stops. We'll jump ahead to the lead of this race, as there is a yellow flag that should be Renovatio's car getting cleared rather shortly. And it looks like Space Ghost trying to make an impression on Stashes out front. Stolen Valor, the championship leader at this early stage, in 4th, looking to get into the podium positions. Just about 1 second. Business Monkey and Nadawiabu. We'll check up on this battle, as it is very, very tight. And to answer your question, Charlie Chibbles, Squiddy got a penalty on lap 1 as Nadawiabu goes up the inside of Business Monkey. And it looks like they're going to secure that position. But it looks like that Squids picked up that 5-second penalty for collision in turn 1. That I'm sure is what was part of the damage, because there was massive yellow flags. But yellow flags still out in sector 3, just now clearing, as it looks like Squids nearly a lap down already in this one. No, correction. That is Space Ghost, nearly 5 seconds out in the lead. So I was looking at the wrong dot. What happened to Stashes while I was looking somewhere else? Stashes had a moment and has fallen off of the pack, and now is fallen behind this group as I was trying to look in multiple places all at once. But so 3 laps in, as the DRS is now enabled, Space Ghost leads from Delta the Hunter. Stolen Valor sneaking on P2 there. Nadawiabu 1 second back in 4th place. We'll keep an eye on Stolen Valor this time down the pit straight. We'll jump on board. We will take a look and see if we can just eyeball the control panel there. It looks like they are with DRS right around 215 miles an hour at VMAX. They're running very low wing. They're not enough to close up to Delta the Hunter, though, as it looks like Squids and Chronicle are back in the pit lane once again. Cypher has disconnected from the session, unsurprisingly, after that first lap DNF, and field really spread out at the early stage of this one. Space Ghost in the catbird seat, 5-second advantage. Now, I can take a short breath, because as things have spread out just enough, as there's only just a couple of drivers within that 1 second margin to each other, we can take a look at the tires and the strategy. It looks like we're going to have a dry race, at least as far as we know, as the sun is coming out a little bit more and a little bit more. Medium tire runners, Space Ghost, Delta, Nadawiabu, Stashes, Business Monkey, Zhao, Oba Mendez, and Chronicle all on the medium tire right now. Peter Ward, the only one to opt for those soft compound tires. Realistically, soft tires are only going to last about 5-6 laps. Mediums, you're going to look to take between 9 and 11 laps, and hards you can go between typically between 10 and 14 laps. So looks like the idea is to stay out for those medium runners and just kind of run a traditional medium hard strategy. Bobby Digital, Blob, and Project Stealth probably not going to have quite enough life to make the end of the race unless there is a couple full safety cars, and they definitely need that to bring them in. Looking up and down the timing tower, this is the closest battle on track. Stolen Valor on the back of Delta the Hunter, who's gone a little bit wide through turn 1. That is some momentum for Stolen Valor in the slipstream. Now they're going to have a DRS with it enabled. Oh my, they're 3/10. They can keep their foot flat to the floor through Eau Rouge, through Rowdy, and over the top of the hill, little bit squirrely. They've lost a bit of momentum to Delta, but DRS is now open. And look at that closing speed. Bobby Digital and Peter Ward battling it out as they come in. Or no, that's Peter Ward into the pit lane. Side by side they go. What a great camera angle, Cody's, as they fight through the Lacombe chicane. Not quite close enough to make the battle, and that's going to put Stolen Valor on the back foot. No, but he's got really good run into Malmedy, and the door's just a little bit open. It does look like Stolen Valor running very low on ERS already, just 4 laps into this race. Zhao and Business Monkey trading positions through Rivage. We'll keep an eye on. This is a battle for the podium positions. Just a 1/10 of a second in it. 3/10 back is Nadawiabu, so close to making the way through but not quite enough. We'll let this one simmer down for just a second. We'll keep an eye on now Business Monkey and Zhao. Business Monkey running ghosted. I think they're having connection issues. So instead of having some problems, they are going to be side by side less and more side inside. Now we'll keep an eye as they're coming through Paul Frere, the lead group. Looks like Delta has gotten, just according to the timing sheets, a little bit better of an exit, has released off well, but oh, Nadawiabu's got some momentum. Blob is out, and Eau Rouge and Radion, his car is retired, and there's a full course yellow. Indeed, safety car called. Full safety car has been called right as Nadawiabu was winding up for the overtake into the bus stop chicane. We will see who is going to opt for the pit lane in this one. None of the lead group yet. It looks like Stashes might be the first to dive in. They are going to come into the pit lane. It's going to be about 17 laps to get to the end of this race if they opt for the hard compound tire. Now, with a couple of laps of safety car running, it's possible to get the hard tire to the very end there. So Space Ghost had already cleared the safety car well out in front of the lead, although unfortunately their 9-second advantage is going to be completely wiped out by this safety car. But on the other hand, that is going to allow Zhao to close right up to this pack and Project Stealth to get back into this fight as the Squids Chronicle Peter Ward as well, all getting a little bit of help from the safety car to close this gap up. So action coming thick and fast here in PC Division 4, not all in one big train, but plenty of pockets of action up and down. And yes, AWD, you are indeed correct. 4 laps into this race, 1 VSC, 1 full safety car. And in the lovely, lovely parlance of NASCAR, cautions breed cautions. Especially, well, because at least in NASCAR, there's no such thing as a virtual safety car or local yellow. Anytime a yellow flag is thrown, everything gets grouped right up together and puts all the cars right next to each other like a safety car restart, where there's more than likely going to be some elbows out. Now, of course, NASCAR's got the benefit of fenders, so the elbows out racing doesn't tend to have as much of an impact as far as cars being completely binned off. However, the parlance still stands, and now you take some slightly more fragile cars, put them all together, and see what happens. We're going to keep an eye on Space Ghost is coming into the pit lane. Space Ghost is going to opt to make the change. So let's see what tires they go on to. They have got some gap. They might actually have a near free pit stop to the likes of Stashes. Looks like Delta, Stolen Valor, Nadawiabu, Zhao all staying out. No, Zhao coming in, as is Business Monkey. So hard compound tires, 18 laps to go in this race. So should have the inside lines. They get back on track and get the throttle down, and looks like it's going to be nip and tuck. We'll see who is judged to be ahead. It looks like Delta got there just before Space Ghost hit the pit exit line. So it's lost a position to Zhao, lost a position to Delta and Nadawiabu, but in the net lead of the race, as everybody around him is yet to take their pit stop. Easy there, Space Ghost. Don't want to get those tires on the grass there. It is not the iRacing 24-hour. And you can't cool your tires like that. It doesn't work. Excuse me while I take a very aggressive drink of my soda to try and cool down my throat, which is very, very tired from lots and lots of talking, especially because I did myself no favors by forgetting that this division sets a practice session first before the qualifying session, so I was commentating over complete absolute nothingness until qualifying started. But 6 laps into this 22-lap race here around Spa-Francorchamps, we have Stolen Valor in the lead of the race. Nadawiabu P2, Delta the Hunter rounds out the podium positions. However, they all still have yet to make their mandatory pit stop. Space Ghost, the highest up the field, having made their mandatory pit stop. Zhao and Business Monkey still need to come in. Stashes, everybody else below them have made a pit stop. Stashes, Oba Mendez might be able to just about get to the end of the race if there's another safety car that would definitely help out the tire wear. Bobby Digital and Squids likely going to have to take another stop. Now this is right around the spot where you would usually see the instruction if the safety car is coming in this lap, and no, it is staying out one more lap as drivers such as Peter Ward and Project Stealth still close their way up to the back of the grid. Now, Project Stealth is an award winner in the FRS. Even though they may be down there sitting in P13 last season in France, they started the race down in P12 and won the Kimi Räikkönen award for the season by being the race winner that came from the furthest back on the grid. So a good run of form and clawing their way through the field, not off the cards for Project Stealth. An overtakeable track here with the long run down the Kemmel Straight. However, there's quite a bit of duality to it, is if you aren't able to make the move down into the Kemmel Straight. Sector 2 is very difficult to make a move stick unless your opponent ahead of you gets their foot just a little bit wrong. Rivage, the long right-hander that is downhill, is understeer city, and if you leave the door just a little bit open, then a car with grippier tires or a little bit better downforce can kind of force their way up and underneath there. But otherwise, you're kind of at the mercy of cars ahead of you. And that is why a low downforce strat is so valuable around here. As long as you can keep somebody from getting by you on the main straights, you can essentially hold them through the entirety of Sector 2 as long as you don't put a foot wrong. Just cover your insides. We saw it in the Division R race yesterday with Stark, who was running that 0-0 wing strategy. And especially after a restart, he was on old hard tires compared to some drivers on softer compounds than they were yesterday. They were able to just have enough pace on the straights to hold their opponents back and went defensive in the right spots, made the other drivers on the stickier tires take the long way around, which is really, really difficult to do around Spa-Francorchamps here, and was able to hold positions and then punch in the ERS and make a good run down the straights with that extra battery power and with those lower wings, and until DRS was enabled, and they were able to clear, not clear the DRS from the drivers. They still had DRS almost the entire race behind them, but they were unable to make an overtake stick. So the field is bunched back together as we make our way behind the safety car through the second sector. Should be a couple of more corners before we find out if we are going back to green flag racing. I would estimate that we are. Stolen Valor leading the pack behind the safety car, and we will grab their onboard telemetry just for the restart. Usually we don't want to show the onboard telemetry because it does give away battery levels a bit. However, in qualifying and restart, the race restart, you can kind of expect that everybody's got full battery. Okay, safety car is in this lap. It is going to streak away. Stolen Valor is going to have to manage this pack and not accelerate too much. We've seen a mixture of strategies as far as drivers go for safety car restarts. We've seen some slow very much up in this section of the track and get to full speed before the braking zone of the bus stop chicane. We've also seen drivers wait till after getting their cars straightened out in the chicane and then punch it. And they've both had reasonable success. Very similar. It looks like they're going to wait until they get through the bus stop chicane. They're actually very close to the safety car, so there's no real opportunity for them to go just yet. Now over the final corner, and the power is down, ERS is deployed, and we are back to green flag racing. Now we will keep an eye on the back part of the grid as it usually bunches up through that chicane. Delta the Hunter actually making a move on Nada Wiabu. They're battling it out side by side, and now Space Ghost on those fresh medium tires. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging there coming down. I think he's going to just lift out, tuck in. He's got so much more grip on those hard tires. Delta runs wide, multiple track limit warnings. Stashes making their way past Business Monkey a little bit further back. We'll keep an eye on, if I can find the 4 button, Space Ghost here. Gone a little bit deep into Lakeholm there as Business Monkey and Stashes still duking it out further back. It's hard to defend your position when you are a ghosted car, which is kind of the negative of having a poor internet connection. Luckily, they don't seem to be lagging around too much. They do have front wing damage as another car has gone very wide through Rivage there in the background, is just in on the track there. So Stashes clears their way through. We should see Business Monkey start to drop through the field with that damage. We're going to jump back up to the lead-ish pack. Now, Delta the Hunter is in attacking range of Stolen Valor. However, that 3-second time penalty is going to hurt their charge through the field. We'll keep an eye out on Space Ghost, who has the tire differential at the moment compared to the medium tire runners. Now, the medium still should be the faster tire for probably another 3 laps or so, considering they've spent some time under the safety car. Usually about 6 to 8 green flag laps is when the crossover between the medium and hard. Oh, Squids is out. Squids has lost it through Paul Frere. Are we going to have another full course yellow and another safety car is called? Now, these medium tire runners at the front, Stolen Valor, Delta the Hunter, Nadawiabu, did not opt for the pit lane. They were in position to take a cheap pit stop. They're in range, and Zhao is going to be the first to take it. Zhao putting themselves in a very good spot. The hard tires should get to the end of the race at this stage. 9 of 22 laps, you're only asking it to do 13 laps. You're in the usual pit window to get that hard tire to the end, and considering there are a couple of laps of safety car running before we get back to race speeds, should be just about perfect. But it looks like Squids on Paul Frere lost it. Very tough traction zone if you are running just a smidge too high tire pressures at the bottom. Bobby Digital is out. Bobby Digital has lost the car through Eau Rouge, it would appear. We're going to jump on as Zhao should be the next one to come through. We'll see if we can spot it. And that is, I think they have hit the safety car. I think Bobby Digital has hit the safety car and DNF'd. Bobby D leading the pack, topping the timing charts in FP1. I think Bobby Digital has hit the safety car and DNF'd as a result. Well, we're at 3 full course yellows, and we have not yet hit the halfway mark of this race, and that is just great, great news for my voice, because it means I get to talk more and more and more as we come around. Now, we will see, as the safety car has not yet picked up the leaders, it had not made its way out of the pits by the time the pit leaders had come through. We'll see if the top 3, Stolen Valor, Delta, Nadawiabu, opt for the pit lane. It will put them down into the pack, are likely ahead of Zhao. Green flag racing, you lose about 19 seconds in the pit lane. And with the Delta being about 40% speed, and yes, Stolen Valor is going to opt for the hard compound tire, run it long just like they did last week. Nadawiabu is in as well. Delta the Hunter, the one staying out. So space goes by virtue of pitting under the last safety car while the field was a little bit more spread, going to pick up a bit of an advantage. Now, of course, with the Delta cruising around at about 40% speed, instead of losing 19 seconds, you should look to lose probably about 10 overall. So here comes Stolen Valor, as expected, in between Project Stealth, ahead of Nadawiabu in this one, or ahead of Zhao in this one. So back out to the track they go, the race leader relinquishing their position in favor of the hard compound tires. Now, we should see Stashes and Oba Mendez on the bubble. Peter Ward likely has to pit again. Chronicle and Delta and Project Stealth certainly have to pit again. We'll take a look and see Delta the Hunter, the only one so far not to satisfy their requisite pit stop. They're going to have the lead of this race, but they are at a stage where the medium tire is going to start to be slower than the hard tire behind them. So they've really got to put in some incredible laps and hope for another safety car. Because as the field is spread out, a green flag pit stop puts them at the back of the field easily. Zhao is only 9 seconds back. Business Monkey is going to close up before they get ready for another pit stop. I think Delta, in favor of track position, may have missed the strategy call, because the medium tires, 11 laps is about as long as you want to take them under green flag conditions. Yes, there's been a few full course yellows. Maybe has bought them another lap or two, but they're going to have to come in and make that green flag pit stop in only about 2 laps. So we will see what Delta is able to do on the restart. The field is all together once again, and we will catch up with the leader of this race. Delta the Hunter in the Red Bull leads from Space Ghost, Stashes, Oba Mendez, Peter Ward, Chronicle, Project Stealth, Stolen Valor, Nadawiabu, and Zhao rounds out the top 10. Business Monkey in 11th. Everybody that finishes except for one driver in the points paying positions for this one. So it's just a matter of survival, and at the rate we're going, you may get a point if you just finish. Now, I don't know that Delta has led a safety car restart yet. It appears that the game is throttling them as they come through. I don't believe they've backed up the field nearly enough in this one. They are just on the back and to keep going full throttle. So we will see as, yeah, the game is auto-braking them into the final chicane. The safety car is in the pits now, though. They are able to get going. Throttle is down. Oh, Space Ghost has gotten an incredible launch. He is going to just sail past if he can be nice and late on the brakes down into turn 1. He's got the inside line. Delta is wide. Space Ghost leaving the space on the outside. Now, it's just a matter of who has the straight line speed. It's going to be all about the wing. Oh, side by side. Are they going to try and go side by side through Rouge and Radial? Space Ghost closing up a little lift. Delta stays ahead. He's cut the track, though, to do so. I believe that's going to be a track limits warning, but Space Ghost is going to have the momentum in the slipstream, likely with the electrical deployment. Now switches to the outside. He's going to try and go the long way around. It does become the inside as we're going to try and grab a better camera angle and just doesn't quite get his nose far enough in there. And Delta is going to hold that position. However, carrying that 3-second time penalty, that is going to drop them down. We've got yellow flags. It is Zhao off the back end of the pack there. We will see if he's got damage. He has indeed lost it through Rouge, missing a front wing now. He's going to have to make another stop, though. No full course yellow, no local yellows even now that he's going again to clear up that debris. So we are at least, for the time being, back to green flag racing. Delta the Hunter leads from Space Ghost and stashes. Everybody's starting to spread out just a little bit. 1 second is the minimum gap between anybody. This closest battle on track, Delta and Space Ghost. Stash is the next closest fight. Oh, scratch that. I'm looking at the leader timing. I had not changed it. Oh my god, while I was changing the timing, Delta is in the wall. Chronicle and Project Stealth are caught up in the incident, and another full course yellow. So Delta the Hunter needing a full course yellow to make a pit stop is the cause of it. And once again, full throttle through Paul Frere. It looks like 2 separate incidents, actually. Now that I am seeing it, there's 2 cars wrecked on the exit of Paul Frere way back. Delta was well up the road of them. So that is Chronicle and Project Stealth out of this race. We will see if Zhao is going to have a view. It looks like both sets of drivers making similar mistakes. Peter Ward is into the pit lane easily. Easy choice. And I think, wow, another full course yellow just at the halfway point of this race. And we are down to 8 of 16 runners. So challenging for the season's lead of most shambles. Round 1 in PlayStation lost 50% of their finishers, with only 7 of the 14 drivers making the way to the end. And then here we are, 50% left. Still almost 50% of this race still to go. And we may have more drivers fall out of this one. The Space Ghost getting some extra help from the tires. Those hard tire runners likely going to get a little bit of assistance. Stashes, Owa Mendez, those tires should get about to the end of the race now. But tire warm-up is going to be difficult on those hard compound tires. Now, I don't expect that tire warm-up played an issue in the crashes we saw in Paul Frere there at the end of the lap, because even with cold tires coming out of the pits, cold hard tires coming out of the pit lanes, you're up to temperature by the time you get to Puan. You're in the green temperature. So I don't believe it was under temperature. If you are running too high of rear tire pressures, though, that surface temperature spikes on the left rear through Paul Frere. And once it reaches a surface temperature of about 120 degrees Celsius, your grip goes away instantly. So you can help that out by keeping your tire pressures down a little bit. That will also help keep the core temperatures down. But it's this, as we're approaching Stavolo now, this corner here, this long right-hander, really loads the left rear tire and the surface, and there's opportunities for that tire to really get hot. So unfortunately, as being pointed out in the chat, a driver is only classified if they complete 90% of the race. It's the reason why the current PlayStation leaderboard only has 7 drivers on it. So unfortunately for Delta the Hunter and Chronicle, whilst they were in points paying positions, 9th and 10th, they have not completed enough of the race distance to be classified. Tough race going for the division as it looks like Zhao catching up. Interesting, Zhao is put on the soft compound tires. Now, they are starting to... You only have your soft compounds of tires, the 4 that you get in qualifying, so whatever life is put through those, which was not much, really any, because of the wet to intermediate qualifying session. So every driver had 4 fresh sets of tires. And then you get 1 set of mediums and 1 set of hards. So, take another breath. Nearly finished 1 can of soda and my throat is still sore. That is some lovely Dr. Pepper and cream soda combination, in case anybody's wondering. We're moving on, though. The next drink is Mountain Dew Spark Zero Sugar with a blast of raspberry lemonade. In case you guys wanted to know, because really I'm just trying to waffle on at this point. Plenty going on in this one under the safety car. But we've got 9 laps left to go in this one. Space Ghost has got 7 lap old hard tires. Stashes, Open Mendez, Stolen Valor, Nada Wiabu should all easily make the end of this race. Peter Ward can make the end of this race on those medium compound tires. They are going to be a little bit quicker than the hards for about 8 laps. Zhao on the softs, unless there's another safety car to really help him out and he's being very gentle on the tires, likely going to have to make 1 more stop before the end of the race. However, even if they finish last of the running drivers, they're still in for 4 points in this one. A solid 4-point finish. So, safety car is in this lap. We will hop off board of Space Ghost. We will grab their telemetry as everybody's got their batteries charged up. Not anything to worry about in this one. And we will see. He's backing the pack up a lot this time around. Only 8 drivers left in this one, so that safety car train is not all that long left to go. Safety car already just about to the pit exit. And it looks like they are getting ready to restart. They might be going for the restart before the bus stop opportunity. Still waiting for them to get that throttle pin. The safety car is fully in, so they can go whenever they like. And it looks like Space Ghost is indeed going to wait till after the bus stop chicane. Hard tires likely going to be a little bit on the chilly side, and away they go. We're back to green flag racing across the line. We'll keep an eye out towards the mid and backpack so we can look forward and see, as it looks like Stolen Valor's gotten a very good run down into turn 1. Not quite in attacking range is the championship leader, but on the gearbox of Oba Mendez, their teammate. And Oba Mendez has had a big snap, and Stolen Valor going to just slide right through and take that race position away. Oba Mendez passed by Nada Wiabu now, so losing positions coming up over the hill, and Business Monkey's got a very good run. Plenty of momentum tucking into the slipstream now. They're going to try and just drive straight on up the inside, but looks like Oba Mendez running a little bit lower wing. They're starting to pull away now from that group. So Space Ghost has opened up a 1.4 second advantage. Stolen Valor closing the gap to Stashes. Nada Wiabu hanging on to the back of that group as well. Half a second. Oba Mendez, Business Monkey, Peter Ward all together. Zhao on those soft tires really going to have to get a shift on in order to try and not lose too much ground. Oh, that is Stashes wide off of Rivage there and has cost them some momentum. They've gotten back on track ahead of Stolen Valor, and Stolen Valor's had to check up a little bit to avoid a collision. Oh, Stashes well wide there. They're going to carry some extra momentum, but that's going to be a penalty. And there they go, running wide again. So another 3-second time penalty. Stolen Valor needs to clear Stashes. They're going to finish ahead of them on the front because of the track limits penalties, but they need to try and close the gap to Space Ghost, who is absolutely rocketing away. Already 3.2 seconds the advantage. Oba Mendez starting to get some momentum going again. Peter Ward and Business Monkey dicing it out in the back of the screen there, as Peter Ward on those medium tires gonna have a little extra grip, a little bit extra power out of those corners. So we are down to lap 14 of 22. 8 runners left in this one. Space Ghost has a commanding lead out front. Stashes under pressure from the Ferrari of Stolen Valor, who's looking to maximize their points gain, as Squids P2 in the championship with the retirement. And oh, it looks like somebody is off in the back there. Oba Mendez and Nadawiabu getting tangled up. Bad news for Ferrari there, side by side. Is there? Yes, Nadawiabu has no front wing left. Looks like Oba Mendez has no front wing. Nadawiabu has some damage. No damage. Maybe damage. We'll find out. We'll jump ahead as Zhao is going to make their way through Business Monkey, who's still experiencing a ghosted car. Peter Ward now, though, 2.8 seconds to bridge the gap to the podium position. Space Ghost in a comfortable 3.7 second lead out front ahead of Stashes, and lunging down the inside goes Business Monkey late on the brakes, able to get the car slowed down, and curious to see what these drivers would be doing if they were in fact racing straight up side by side. Now Peter Ward has a tire, he's lost tons of time. Does Peter Ward have damage? He's fallen from 2.5 to 4 seconds off, and he's on a grippier tire. And Zhao has an incredible run through Puan. Is he going to stick his nose up in through the chicane? Not quite, but Peter Ward has gone very deep, and that's really compromised the exit now. It's going to be all about getting the throttle down through Paul Frere. Stavilo first. There is a little bit of cloud cover coming in. Have we run this race long enough that there's going to be more weather-related shambles? Is the rain going to come and impact this race? Peter Ward with wing damage, as you would expect. Nadawiabu sneaking past Business Monkey, who has had a bit of a wobble. Nadawiabu absolutely on a tear on those hard compound tires. Stashes and Stolen Valor dueling it out into the bus stop chicane. Stolen Valor wide, and that is going to cost him a little bit of momentum. Stashes just behind. Who is going to take the lead? Stashes is going to be behind in the DRS zone here, while Space Ghost continues to gallivant away. Now, is Stolen Valor or Stashes going to have a good... It's playing... I think they're playing DRS games with each other. They've lost a ton of time. Are they playing DRS games with each other? Yes, Stolen Valor lifts completely out of the bottom of Eau Rouge there as the detection point is right there. And watch this rear wing. No, he didn't get the detection point. Stashes gamed it just about right, and is into the Lacombe chicane ahead of Stashes, and now Stashes is going to be held up just a little bit more. Well, Zhao is starting to lose a little bit of attack to Peter Ward, as even though Peter Ward has that damage, Zhao's tires are going to start falling off just a little bit. Space Ghost in control of this race out front. We'll keep an eye out, as it looks like Stashes and Stolen Valor about nip and tuck as they come through Puan. A good opportunity for a bit of slingshot momentum to get there. And I think with only 6 laps left to go in this one, it's going to be a tall ask for Stolen Valor to chase down Space Ghost. However, Space Ghost is going to get into that high tire deg stage of the race. About 11 to 12 laps in on the hard tires, you start to lose a little bit of lap time, whilst Stolen Valor has those younger hard tires. So Stolen Valor's lost it on the exit of Paul Frere. He's managed to keep it out of the wall, though. Oh, and he's going to be right in the middle of the track. Luckily ghosted, as a very dangerous rejoin there. But fighting for the podium positions, no longer the case. Stolen Valor right at the back. Oba Mendez has come in to grab a set of soft tires for, I would assume, a run at the fastest lap, although there is no fastest lap being given because of the issues with the formation lap. Basically, the fastest lap is going to say it's like 27 seconds or something. But another casualty of Paul Frere Corps, and Oba Mendez is just stopped. He's just now moving again. He was stopped for quite a while, but Space Ghost just has to keep the tires on the car and bring this home. He can give up almost a second a lap to Stashes. Peter Ward with damage, not likely to close up. He's battling for his life against Nadawiabu now, though, who is trying to grab that last podium position is what they're fighting for. That blinking rear light on the back, though, it's not raining yet. That means his ERS is running very low, and Peter Ward doing very well to stay ahead. Zhao, I think, has had his soft tires just about fall off. 5 laps of life in those. And Stashes with that 3-second time penalty. Peter Ward not quite good. Oh, Peter Ward's deep. Peter Ward has gone very wide through Rivage. That's going to open the door for Nadawiabu, but he's going to get the kind of the slingshot down the inside of No Name. Side by side, they go. Not quite enough room left, I don't think. Peter Ward getting his elbows out. We will see. It was very nip and tuck between the two, but that's going to put Zhao right on the back of this pack once again. Oh, you're correct, Matt. So I'm flipping it because there was no formation lap, fastest lap eligible. You are correct indeed. it's been a very busy weekend. The patch that created the bug came out less than 3 days before the first races. And, big snap of oversteer for Nadawiab, who somehow saves it. Paul Frere corner trying to take another victim, but we still have 8 drivers running. And now Peter Ward and Zhao, a very interesting battle developing between these two. Zhao's tires just about dead. Peter Ward damaged. Who is going to have enough grip to the end of this race? No, Zhao has lost it. Zhao dropping down. Nadawiabu now 2 seconds back with a 3-second time penalty. Nadawiabu really recovered well from that big swapper. And Peter Ward, yeah, unsurprisingly, I think most Mercedes drivers so far have been running that 0-0 combination. I did, at least. And sorry for becoming a frog as my throat continues to die. We still have 4 laps left to go in this race. We are not quite there yet. Zhao has dropped it in turn 1, so he's fallen down to P7. Oba Mendes, though, nearly a lap down with his issues. I think, is he trundling around with no front wing? Oh, he's got a front wing on. Space Ghost, though, we'll check in with the race leader. Just kind of cruising along. That's a very good question, Riemann. As you ask it right there, Business Monkey has joined. So we will see. It's going to depend on how many laps they were actually in control of their car, whether they get classified or not. And that's going to be tough for them to prove. So I think it's likely that we will have 7 classified finishers. However, I haven't been really paying too much attention on their ins and outs. But at the front of the pack here, nice and comfy, is none other than Space Ghost. But we do have a battle developing. 4/10 the gap. Nadawiabu, very good exit out of Paul Frere this time on the back of Peter Ward now without the damage. I think Nadawiabu has a chance to build a 3-second gap. Oh, defending hard to the inside. Nadawiabu looking to send it down the inside. Peter Ward's gone very deep, though. Going for the cutback is Nadawiabu. Oh, they've got the momentum. What a brilliant double cutback there. The drag race down into turn 1. He's got that extra help of DRS, but look at that. The low wing angles. Peter Ward stays essentially side by side, but oh, look at that up and under. Unfortunately for Nadawiabu, I think that is, even if they pull ahead here, not up, if they don't pull it. Oh, it's wheel banging. Oh, it's dangerous through Eau Rouge and Radion. So Peter Ward with that low downforce, able to take the advantage down the hill. Now with the DRS open on the back. That's absolutely the camera angle I want to see. That's a better camera. I want to look at the rear wing, that rear wing. No, I don't want to look at that. Nadawiabu on the outside. Peter Ward late on the brakes. Oh, he's completely sent it. He's completely and utterly sent it. Gone very, very deep there. And I don't know how the stewards are going to look on that, because Nadawiabu had to take massive, massive avoiding action. We got yellow flags again as Paul Frere claims Oba Mendes into the barriers. Still driving, but another front wing. The Tifosi really fronting the front wing budget this race weekend. I'm getting word from the technical guy who's been paying attention behind of Mr. Riemann that Business Monkey has been under AI control basically the entire race. So if that is the case, they will not be a classified finisher, even if they drive the last 2-3 laps. Unfortunately, you have to be in control of your car for at least 90% of the laps in order to. But DRS now enabled. It's been rare that we've seen that actually come up. We missed a VSC as a very short one, mind you. And that's why the DRS is enabled, now that I think about it. Likely to pick up damage from Oba Mendes, who is now definitely going to be a lap down. But let's check back in with our favorite fight between two fun drivers here. Peter Ward, Nadawiabu. Peter Ward to the inside, defending, forces Nadawiabu to go around the outside. Nadawiabu once again going for the up and under, the cutback. Down the hill they go, and you can see the time delta sticking right about that 3/10 mark. And I'm sure Peter Ward is starting to feel a little bit of pain in those tires. And every time that Naduyabu is unable to fully clear Peter Ward, it's harder for them to clear that 3-second time penalty. Peter Ward defending to the inside. Naduyabu on the outside. Peter Ward this time not very deep. Naduyabu actually anticipating that Peter Ward would go deep. That's because, oh, big snap of oversteer. Stolen Valor closing up on this fight now. And Stolen Valor is going to go through up the inside of Naduyabu. No, he's got the traction back down, just about kept it. But now Peter Ward is going to have a little bit of respite as Stolen Valor is going to try and snatch a P4 finish away from Naduyabu. That 3-second time penalty going to come into play. Stash is luckily cleared that 3 seconds by quite a mile ahead of Peter Ward, so has likely locked in P2 at this stage. Now, we still got a couple laps left to go. It's easy to pick up track limit warnings around this track, so we will see if anybody else is going to run afoul of the track limits or make any more mistakes through Paul Frere. Since the last full course yellow, it's definitely, or last safety car's definitely it's tried to claim some victims, but here we go, through Paul Frere. Once again, a little touch of the curbing. I think it looks like Peter Ward may have had to lift out of that one just a little bit. Naduyabu closing on the slipstream. No DRS down this back straight through Blanchimont. Very lightning quick left-hander flat out. Can he carry the momentum? Peter Ward, no, just ahead enough under braking to secure that position. Now, as we start the penultimate lap, oh, there's a bit of a lag spike there. It looks like Peter Ward came back just a little bit, but the penultimate lap underway. A Space Ghost is just about to the end of the Kemmel Straight. This time around, Stolen Valor, who got involved in that fight, immediately fell off the back of it. He's got to actually try and get a bit of a move on. They are right on about that 3-second margin, and we've got yellow flags. It looks like that is Business Monkey and Zhao who have become tangled up. Peter Ward's picked up a 3-second time penalty, so it is as it is on track now. Naduyabu does not have to clear a 3-second time margin. Has got 2 laps left to go to make an overtake. Just has to make it, doesn't even have to get it for the entire lap. Just has to try and send one into the bus stop chicane, I would say, and hold that position the rest of the way. So tight to the inside of Rivage. Has lost a little bit of time. Not quite as close in the fight with Peter Ward as you would expect. Peter Ward's run a little bit wide there. Those tires definitely in bad condition, especially with that worn out front wing. The swap over, the medium tires, the hard tires. Oh, a little bit of contact, nose to tail between the two. And Naduyabu just pushing Peter Ward along, trying to get him through the corners as Peter Ward has to lift up. Peter Ward 9 laps on those medium tires. They're definitely starting to get into that heavy degradation phase. They're losing their traction. They're losing their grip. And we've got just a couple of corners left to go. Space Ghost coming out of the chicane. Oh, snap reverse. Naduyabu loses it while challenging for that podium position. Has lost the rear of the car and is unfortunately now down to 5th position. We'll keep an eye on Stolen Valor as they try and fight for the podium places. Oba Mendez and Zhao trading fastest laps as they've made some late pit stops for those soft compound tires to grab that bonus point. Obviously, with the number of retirements, you could be dead last. As long as you go fast, you're going to get an extra point. Naduyabu makes their way past Zhao, it looks like. Nip and tuck between the two. We will check it out as it looks like Zhao has spun, actually. So they are going to cost themselves a couple of points there. Stolen Valor 1.4 seconds off the back of Peter Ward on this final lap of the race. It's going to take a mistake to close in. What? Actually, scratch that. Peter Ward has 3-second time penalty. Stolen Valor still has none. Stolen Valor in podium position, actually, to knock the Mercedes off. Stolen Valor, 2.1 seconds. He's got to have some speed in the middle sector, not lose too much ground, no mistakes needed, and he can pick himself up a second podium in a row in a race where his primary championship rival Squids went out early and is scoring no points. A P3 finish would be ideal. Space Ghost is making their way down through Stavilo and just about to Paul Frere corner. Get the throttle down. Stolen Valor has closed up quite a lot. He doesn't need to make anything risky. He doesn't have to go for this move on track at all. Although looks to be rather feisty and wants to go for the move on track. As Peter Ward defends to the inside and this time gets the car slowed down for the corner. Stolen Valor just going to have to slot back into this one. We will see what kind of launch they get out of Paul Frere, but in the meantime, we will jump ahead to our celebratory donuts is Space Ghost. He's got the car facing nearly the wrong way. Getting the throttle down is going to stay ahead and take the race when he's going to win the Belgian Grand Prix here in PC Division 4. Stashes is going to be next across the line. We're going to keep an eye on Stolen Valor and Peter Ward. It looks like Stolen Valor is just going to edge back and let Peter Ward take the checkered flag ahead, but that 3-second time penalty is going to result in a podium for Stolen Valor. Peter Ward comes home P4. Nado Wiabu very close on the back of this pack, actually did a very good job to close up, is going to take home 5th place points. Zhao is going to cross the line in P6. Business Monkey's AI is in P7 or Business Monkey is P7 right now, though their AI having driven most of the race there. Oba Mendez carrying that fastest lap point is already finished this race as they were just a lap down. So a tremendous drive from Space Ghost there. Plenty of definitely nervy moments as they got out to a good lead early, and then safety car after safety car brought the pack back together. Stolen Valor getting the game's driver of the day. A fantastic drive from Stolen Valor there in a very action-packed PC Division 4 race. Lots going on in that one. But now, I can take a little bit of a deep breath. At least for another couple seconds until the results screen officially comes up and I get to give you the full race rundown. But in the McLaren, doing well where their teammate Squids could not. Space Ghost takes the top step of the podium. Stashes coming home P2 brings a nice result for Alfa Romeo, and Stolen Valor, championship leader, puts it a second podium in a row. Backs up their win. Looked like they were going to be in a little bit of trouble early on in this race, but was able to close up the gap and get into the podium positions. All right, so here we go. Your race winner for the Belgian Grand Prix, Space Ghost in P1, Stashes in second, Stolen Valor comes home third, Peter Ward in fourth, Nado Wiabu fifth, Zhao, Business Monkey, Oba Mendez, although those will be your last finishers. Delta the Hunter Chronicle, Project Stealth, Bobby Digital, Squids, Blob, and Renovatio are your retirements in this one. We will have to see just how much time Business Monkey spent in control of the vehicle. We will have to check out the rule book on that, but if I'm not mistaken, it is somewhere around 80 to 90% of the race has to be driven by the human, not the AI, and I think, I believe, unfortunately, Business Monkey fell short of that with the problems. A messy start to this one into turn one. Very, very tricky with those cold tires, unfortunately. And also lots of mistakes in Paul Frere. An easy corner to lose the back end of the car in. But whilst we get ready to wrap this up, let me pull up good old-fashioned production office. And I can make sure to grab exactly what we've got on the docket for tomorrow to finish out week 2 of FRS Season 6. Sunday, PlayStation Division 1 on FRS Motorsports. Then you are going to have on FRS Community around the same time. So PlayStation Division 1, starts at 7 p.m. UTC. PC Division 3 on FRS Community starting just around that same time, just slightly after the start. And then on FRS Motorsports, after the conclusion of PlayStation Division 1, we have PC Division 2. That should go on around 8:30 UTC. So, half of the weekend in the books, half of it left to go. Just about an interesting one there. Plenty of waffling on with those safety cars. But thank you guys again for joining us on the FRS Community channel. Check out FRS Motorsports. I know that the FRS Sim team is taking part in a 24-hour race there, so they have been on. They stepped off the channel for a little bit for the Xbox or the PC Division 1 race earlier today. So jump back over to FRS Motorsports if that is up and active, and check that out and give some support to our sim racing teams. But thank you guys for joining me once again. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you later.